happens when two warriors meet in the ring. Not once, not twice, but 3 times, and refuse to back down each time. No titles at stake, no politics, just pure heart, grit, and war. This isn't just boxing. This is Arturo Gatti versus Micky Ward, a trilogy so savage, so unforgettable, it redefined what it means to be a fighter. You're about to relive the greatest battle series in boxing history. In the brutal world of professional boxing, where legends are born from blood, sweat, and resilience, there exists a trilogy so raw, so unforgettable, that it's etched into the very fabric of the sport. Arturo Thunder, Gatti versus Irish, Micky Ward, a rivalry that wasn't just about titles or rankings. It was about heart, pride, and legacy. This is the story of one of boxing's greatest trilogies. Before the wars, before the bloodied faces and deafening crowds, there were 2 men from very different worlds, yet destined to collide. The fighters before the war. Arturo Gatti, born in Italy and raised in Montreal, Canada, was a fighter in every sense. He possessed a fan-favorite style, aggressive, fearless, and willing to walk through fire to land his own shots. A former IBF super featherweight champion, Gatti was already known for thrilling battles, especially his legendary war with Wilson Rodriguez. Micky Ward, on the other hand, hailed from Lowell, Massachusetts, the blue-collar heart of New England. A journeyman with an iron chin and a left hook to the body that could end fights in an instant. Despite never winning a world title, Ward had gained cult hero status for his relentless pressure and unshakable will. Though neither man was considered elite in technical terms, what they lacked in finesse, they more than made up for in courage and grit. The first encounter, May 18th, 2002. It was supposed to be just another fight on HBO's Boxing After Dark, but what unfolded that night at the Mohegan Sun Arena in Connecticut was nothing short of legendary. From the very first bell, both men set a punishing pace. Gatti, the faster and more explosive of the two, worked behind a sharp jab and combinations. Ward, with his trademark pressure, stalked forward, looking to break Gatti down. Round after round, they exchanged thunderous blows. Gatti's uppercut slicing through Ward's guard, Ward's body shot slowly dismantling Gatti's stamina. Then came the now mythical round 9. It was perhaps the most savage 3 minutes in boxing history. Gatti, badly hurt from a brutal left hook to the liver, doubled over in pain, but refused to go down. Ward, sensing the finish, unloaded a barrage, but Gatti, channeling something primal, fought back, swinging with everything he had, tooth and nail, even as the crowd roared in disbelief. The round ended, but the war raged on. By the time the final bell rang, the audience was on its feet, screaming for both warriors. Ward won the fight by majority decision, but in truth, boxing fans won that night. Chapter 3. The Aftermath. The boxing world erupted. That single fight breathed new life into the sport, reminding fans why they fell in love with boxing in the first place. Arturo Gatti, in his post-fight interview, said simply, "That was the toughest fight of my life." Micky Ward, bloodied but triumphant, didn't gloat. He said, "Arturo is a warrior. I have nothing but respect for him." The respect between them was instant and genuine. 2 men who had gone to war, but walked away as brothers. Chapter 4. The Rematch. November 23rd, 2002. 6 months later, they did it again, and somehow, it was just as ferocious. This time, Gatti came in with a different plan. He boxed smarter, stayed behind the jab more, and controlled the tempo early. Ward, as always, kept coming forward like a human freight train, absorbing punishment and returning it with interest. Gatti was addicted to a point for a low blow in round 3, but didn't let it rattle him. He found his rhythm and began to punish Ward with cleaner, sharper punches. But nothing came easy. Even as Gatti landed shots that would drop lesser men, Ward refused to go down. His face swollen, ribs likely fractures inert, he kept fighting. After 10 brutal rounds, Gatti won a clear, unanimous decision. It was now 1-1. The trilogy demanded a final chapter. Chapter 5. The Decider. June 7, 2003. The rubber match, The Decider, the third and final war. Held in Atlantic City, it would cement the Gatti-Ward trilogy as one of the greatest ever. Both men entered the ring knowing exactly what was coming. Pain, punishment, and glory. From the opening round, Gatti was sharper and more accurate and more prepared. Ward, meanwhile, came in with an injured hand, but never mentioned it until after the fight. Rounds 4 and 6 saw brutal exchanges, but Gatti's boxing skill was now blending with his warrior's heart. In round 6, he dropped Ward with a vicious left hook to the body. Poetic justice for the man whose body shots had dropped Gatti in Fight 1. Ward got up, hurt but unbroken. He never quit. Not then, not ever. The fight went the distance. After 10 furious rounds, Gatti was awarded the unanimous decision and the Trilogy win. But there were no losers. Just two gladiators who had given the sport everything they had. Chapter 6. What made this Trilogy special? Boxing has seen many rivalries. Ali versus Frazier, Barrera versus Morales, Pacquiao versus Marquez, but none delivered raw emotion and pure warfare quite like Gatti versus Ward. What made this Trilogy special wasn't just the action, it was the humanity. These were two fighters who weren't afraid to be vulnerable. They cried, they embraced, they respected each other. Each fight was a roller coaster, knockdowns, point deductions, comebacks, and madness. They fought not for titles, but for pride, and in doing so, they redefined what boxing could be. Chapter 7. Legacy and Brotherhood. After the Trilogy, both men went their separate ways. Gatti would go on to win more fights and titles, while Ward would retire, but not before capturing the hearts of boxing fans forever. Tragically, Arturo Gatti passed away in 2009 under mysterious circumstances. His death shocked the boxing world. At Gatti's funeral, among the many in tears was Micky Ward, the man who had shared the ring with Gatti for 30 unforgettable rounds. Ward later said, "Arturo wasn't just a great fighter, he was a better friend." Their bond was forged in pain, but solidified by mutual respect and understanding, something rare in today's world. Chapter 8. The fights by the numbers. Let's break down some numbers. Total rounds fought 30. Knockdowns 4. Combined punches thrown. Over 3,200 television viewership. Fight 1. Over 1.5 million viewers on HBO. Fight of the Year Awards. 2002. Ward vs. Gatti won by Ring Magazine. Trilogy. Duration. 13 months. Not a single round in these fights was dull. Every minute mattered. On Chapter 9. Cultural Impact. The Gatti-Ward trilogy transcended sports. It was referenced in movies, documentaries, and even teaching philosophies about grit and resilience. The 2010 film The Fighter, starring Mark Wahlberg as Micky Ward, helped bring the trilogy to mainstream attention. Even non-boxing fans could appreciate the drama, the sacrifice, and the warrior spirit that these two embodied. Chapter 10. Final Thoughts. In a time when boxing can often feel like business over sport, the Gatti vs. Ward trilogy remains a shining reminder of what the fight game is all about. Passion, pain, honor, and heart. It wasn't about who was the best technical fighter. It was about who refused to quit. And neither man ever did. Arturo Gatti and Micky Ward gave us 3 nights of unforgettable war, and left behind a legacy that echoes in every fight where two boxers dig deep, refusing to fall. We remember their trilogy not just as a series of fights, but as a shared story of courage, a story that will live forever. Dedicated to Arturo Thunder Gatti, 1972 to 2009. A warrior in life, a legend in the ring.